The Lecker Rugby Pod Instant Reaction with Harry Jones. Only on Megaphone Rugby.
Edinburgh is a conservative town, It's built skeptically with grey stones and sober arches and skeptical food and grumpy weather. But today it was radical, it was festive, and first off at least, Edinburgh came to play. Switches on defense, blitz packages, McLeckerbeck scampering around. Bulls looked like they had run a 20K this morning. David Lowe up to my 10K estimate and said it was 20Ks. Stravino Jacobs looks like, he thought he was eating a Stradivarius and he ate a cello instead. Sorry, Mbia. Midfield mix-ups, very sluggish, fastest maul calls in history, which were repeated all game. So at some point, the referee's going to be that quick on the maul call, on the choke tackle, then you just have to adjust and choke somebody. But wide open midfield breaks by the home team. A yellow card on Zach for a slapback. Ben Bellicose, the scrum off for Edinburgh, celebrating too early, dumbing himself at some points. It was just scrum kicks, scrum wins by the Bulls, and then everything else was Edinburgh. And you looked at it, the full court, tram to tram, wide to wide attack. Bulls walking around, jogging, up-chucking. The Edinburgh hooker, Ashman, looking as quick as Jacobs on the wing. 14-0, Edinburgh happy, Bulls sad. There was this kind of moment where you thought, no, you could just go through them. So big carries, Kirsten, Hanekom, and then Forster the Creel at the end. And 7-14, you thought, oh, no, we can trade, But the red zone attack very sluggish, line-out problems, keeping Edinburgh down, but also stopping Bulls, because if your recipe is win a scrum penalty, kick to the corner, and then do something with it, but your line-out's not functioning or your maul's not functioning, then you've trapped yourself, you've made a rod for your own back. Cameron did get a good run at 26 minutes, go to 5 meters out, but then slow runs in the red zone and spills. So you got good scrums, no brute, almost like a microcosm of the season, then you wonder. First off, ended with a clever penalty by Edinburgh, and that gap down 24-7 really was telling, because it made the entire second half story. Goosen comes on, so you have Goosen versus Goosen, and Goosen's trying to find the goose back there with bouncy balls. Does a couple of times, but Wes Goosen is a clever little operator, tried to be an All Black, now he's trying to be a Scottish guy. Kanan Moody comes on. Kirsten with his almost red, yellow, too many yellow high hits, kind of cancels out Kanan Moody. But you could see this idea of the Moody connection. Goosen to Moody to Creel up the left side looks promising. Problem is, with this yellow card and 31-7 down, it just looked like it was church. The penalty try gives you some hope. And again, it's that kind of moving slowly maul, 14-31, 14-on-14. It looks like it could happen. Cameron dots down untouched from a strong platform where we actually speed the ball up. Hello, that's what you have to do, right? 31-21, 50 minutes in, game on. But exit plays, with Goosen to Moody regathering, also looks good. All the way to 2 meters. Moody could probably score in the corner there if he just backs himself, but he tries to cut in and offload. 55 minutes, Scots go into full-time, time-wasting mode. But they counter-ruck, Bulls counter-ruck, nice overlaps. It just looks like both teams are inviting the other one to finish the game. And it very much felt like at that point, at 57, 58, 60 minutes, that with a two-try advantage, with 34-21, Bulls had to be the next one to score the try, but they had to do it quickly. You want to enter the 70th minute, 28-34. You cannot be deep in the 70s. Scrum wins. Devin kicks really well into the 22, but again, quickest maul call in World Rugby. A bunch of time wasting at that point, and scrum penalty. I thought the ref botched only one call really, which was the penalty against Ludwig on the call on the maul sacking. I think it should have been a penalty the other way around. But Edinburgh kept offering the Bulls a lifeline. Scrum penalty in the red zone. Goosen goes conservative. You gained about 5 or 6 meters on a kick out, and then Marcos choked. It just seemed repetitive. At some point, I thought maybe the Bulls should just slide into contact on their knees already and scream, knees, or have your cleaner, kind of latch on and drive the carrier down so you don't get the extra yards. The hard yards were killing the Bulls. Jacobs, the battleship, is beached one time up the left. These are just self-inflicted errors. The Bulls got to the 2-meter line 3 times, held up, before at 75 minutes, way too late, 5, 6, 7 minutes too late, it becomes 28-34, a tap and go. Then you have this kind of primacy of time. Now you realize that time is important, but the time was really important at 63 minutes, 65 minutes. So a line and a half way, 90 seconds left. The big maul wins a penalty advantage. The attack doesn't break through. You almost want the attack to go quicker than get called back by the referee, so you still have 2 minutes. Instead, it goes all the way to, basically 20 seconds left, and then you have to do something. You get it out to the 22. Mornay Smith carries slow-mo into Pierce Schoolman, and so the big squat unit, the barrel, the keg on legs, pilfers, and Edinburgh survives. So it's all gone. The bags are packed, and the Bulls and all of South Africa is now out of the cups in Europe. And the lesson learned is in knockouts, you don't go down 0-14 early in a match and then have to chase it the rest of your match. You hang on by whatever means necessary. You got to make your first time tackles. You got to play percentages on kick chase, and you probably don't have the luxury of holding back a Keenan Moody and keeping on people that aren't ready for knockout rugby. You probably have to get everyone on as soon as you can, and then play in a hostile environment. All in all, though, kudos to Edinburgh. They played proper, smart rugby. They read the referee correctly, and they survive and go on. Don't think they're going anywhere, but anyway, this part of the season over. Back to the Yerk with ominous Leinster waiting with their 57-point drubbing of Glasgow, looking really sick. So, you might look at it later and say this was the more promising route to get a cup, but sorry, guys. It was an enjoyable game in some ways. In other ways, incredibly frustrating. Cheers, Bulls. Cheers, Gambia.
The Lekker Rugby Pod, instant reaction with Harry Jones. Only on Megaphone Rugby.